Okay, hello everyone. My name is Kingsley Idoko, and welcome to part 3 of the section on remote access VPN. In the last section, which was the part 2, we worked on the finance. We completed the configuration for finance remote access users, and finance is now able to, access their servers. So they come in through remote access, and then from the firewall, they're able to access the servers. And also they can also hit the VPN gateway and then go to the internet. Okay, that's mission accomplished there. This section we want to look at marketing. So if you missed the finance section, I'm going to put the link in the description, so you can see what we did, how we implemented it, and how the different verifications that we did. Now for marketing, manager, the task manager gave us is that marketing, this is their server, okay, but the VPN gateway is here. So the marketing user, tunnel to this ASA, and then from here, the traffic goes over the IPsec site-to-site VPN between the London DC and the Frankfurt DC, and then they're able to access this server. So that's what we need to implement now. We're still going to use the CLI for this implementation. Probably when we look at the infrastructure team, then we can use the ASDM for the implementation. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up the CLI out now. So this is what we have. Just make it smaller. Okay, so we are not going to spend much time like we did for the finance team, because we already have the configuration. So all we just need to do is copy the configuration out, modify it a bit to match the policies for marketing, and then we just apply it back, right? So show run all. So we look at the tunnel group and group policies, right? So show run all tunnel group. Show run all tunnel group. Yeah, so let's just say show run tunnel group. So this is what we did for finance. So we just need to grab this and just duplicate it. Okay, so this is the tunnel for finance. I'm going to bring out my notepad. Yes, notepad. Your notepad. Put it here. There's a group policy, so we need to also replicate the group policy. So I'm just going to say show run group policy. Okay, that's the group policy. Put it here. And now we have the pool, right? Show run pool. Okay, so the pool is tied to the tunnel group. So you said the pool here. So I'm just going to put it at the top here. And what else? Web VPN. Show run web VPN. I think this is global, right? It's not tied to any tunnel group, so we don't need to do anything here. Something else we need to do is to say show run username. Okay, so we need to create a new user for marketing, and of course if you're using Radius, you probably know there's no need to. So what else is left? I think this is really everything. So another thing is the access list. Okay, so we don't really need to, but we can just put this here so that we can modify, right? So this is the access list for finance. So let's just put it there so that we can also make some modification to it. Okay, yeah, so I'm just going to change this name here. So instead of finance, we just change everything. I'm going to see, can we just copy, can I say Control H right? So anywhere you see finance, replace it with marketing. Okay, it should work. So replace all. Yep, let's see. Yeah, that's interesting, right? So yeah, we just changed the name. That's really what we need to do. Then you can of course put your password here, and your password works. So this is what I was using before, so just put it there, right? So the pool here, we said if you look at the topology, is 192.168.60.0. So yeah, okay, so this is just going to be 60. Okay, 60. Still the slash 24. So the SS list, so let's look at the SS list. Let's look at the topology too. So we're going to deny them access to this subnet, this entire subnet, right? And then this subnet, okay? And the access is only to this network, okay? So if we need to do that, it means let's drag. They don't need internet access, so we don't need allow everything. So if his market, if it's coming from 60, right? That's the it's going to be coming from this pool. We need to create this object group though, and it's going to this. We need to deny. Okay, so this is what we tie to the VPN filter. Remember, and if it's coming from this, which is the marketing, and it's going to the so we need to permit this, right? Because they need to, in fact, this is what they, so I'm going to take this one. I'm sure I'm not making any mistake. So here's going to be permits. So we're going to put it deny at the top. It really doesn't matter, but yeah. So deny, so if it's coming from this network, which is 16, right? This network, and the destination is 192.168.20.0/24. So this is the DOM IP for this network actually, because there's an overlap. I've explained this severally. Okay, so we are using 192.168.20.0/24. If you missed that session, you have to go back and watch the video where we implemented site-to-site VPN with overlaps. Okay, because this is the actual IP we are NATing this subnet to. Okay, so whenever you want to reference to this New York City DC, you always have to point to this IP. So this is still okay, but we're just denying. Then of course we want to allow from this network to this network. Okay, so but before we can do this, we need to create an object for it. I don't think we have it yet. So show run objects. It's not there, so we just say object network with the name there, and then the subnet is 192.168.60.0/24. Sorry, 255.255.0. Okay, so yeah, so this is created, so we have it there. Okay, so we are good with the access list, right? So I hope the access list configuration is clear, because marketing can't access the servers, so we are denying the entire subnet. Okay, the entire VPC, if it's like it's not Amazon though, but this is like the entire IP allocated to London DC. So you are not allowed to do anything here. Then of course they are not allowed to access the New York, right? So New York to let me drag this up a bit. New York is 10.0, so we're denying, but they are allowed to access Frankfurt, which is 172.16. Yeah. Then now of course this is our tunnel name, marketing, the pool, marketing pool, which is already here. So the pool is created here. So it's a different allocation for them. Policy, right? So we're tying it to marketing policy, which is automatically created here. So this is the policy for marketing. Just take it back. And what else? There's web VPN attributes. So here it automatically changes to marketing VPN, okay? Because we auto rename it. And then what else? So the group policy. So we are really not making any changes here other than we are not tunneling everything, right? So it's going to be tunnel specified, right? Then you're going to say split tunnel, right? Policy, and then you can, I think you're going to say the value is going to be, so this is the access list, right? So this access list filters is what we are using for the filtering, right? What I'm not sure is if we decide to tie the split tunneling to this name, will this route not end up in a routing table for the users, right? I know there's deny, so we might try it and then we see what happens, right? Because I'm not sure. In fact, that's the reason for all these labs that we do. Okay, we're going to take this. Okay, I want to see if it's going to eject into the routing table for the user, right? For the denies. I know for permits, it's definitely, so this will definitely end up there, right? But I'm not sure for the denies. So we just try it and then we see what happens. We can always come back and create. But remember, the only thing we're actually permitting is, I don't think it's going to work. But remember, what we just actually need to create is a standard ICA that says permit, you know, that route, okay? But we'll see what happens to the routing table. I like to see what happens. So the user is already there, and what else? Nothing else, right? So let's do it one line after the other. Okay, so we are creating another pool, right? It's there. We're creating this access list. Let's just double check everything is okay. Yeah, there's something I want to quickly explain here is this access list is in two ways, right? I know we're saying if the source is this and destination is this, okay? So we're permitting the whole IP, protocol, and we're saying if the source is this. For VPN Vita, that's not really what it means, okay? It's in both ways. So you might wonder, okay, don't we need to do the reverse, like the mirror, to say, oh, if it's coming from here to here, it does it automatically, right? So what that means is if I'm permitting IP from this subnet to this subnet, it automatically allows the reverse. So traffic can also originate from this prefix to this subnet, yeah, so long as an IP protocol, okay? So we don't need to like do double access list, okay? That's the point I just want to. So same applies. If I was saying here, it should be maybe TCP port equals to maybe 23, something like this, right? It automatically still allows the inbound. So it's not just for the outbound, like if you're sourcing from here. If you're also sourcing from here, it will automatically allow TCP port 23. Okay? If we have time, definitely we'll test it here. We'll see if from the server we'll be able to ping the PC. Okay? So I'm just going to copy this and slam it on the device. Show run pool. Yes, so the pool is there. Show run access lists. Right. So we have the marketing access list. Okay, it's getting bigger. So the next is to create the tunnel group, right? So we've already created a marketing, so we need to create the group policy so that it doesn't throw this error. Okay, so let's see if there's also any dependents here. So we've already created the ACL here, or dependencies, marketing VPN. So let's grab it from here. So I'm skipping the tunnel group for now because there's a dependency there. Just say config T. Yep. Okay, so it's saying, okay, so there's also, we actually try to refer to a tunnel group that doesn't exist. So it's kind of it's a chicken and the egg problem now. So we can just leave that. We can come back and just add it. So tunnel policy, I'm not sure if this spelling is correct, so let's try it. Is it correct? Yeah, correct. So we're saying we need to specify a tunnel, so we can add a tunnel policy and then we can tie it to the access list. It throws an error, so something is wrong with the spelling. Tunnel policy. Tunnel policy, we already said tunnel specified, right? Okay. And then what else? Yes, we need to, so we need to specify, let's see the other options we have. Okay, so the network list, yeah. So this is what I wanted to make reference to. So it's not actually this, it's actually the network list. Okay, so we don't need to really, so we can just say network lists. What am I doing? Let's just put it, let's see what happens. Nope. Let's grab the notepad again. So I was saying that it's not split tunnel policy, right? Okay, so it's split network lists. Okay. So let's put it here. Let's see. Yep. So it's taking it. Okay. So that's all for the group policy, right? So let's create the so all the dependencies are already created, so we can just verify and say show run group policy. Yeah, so we have the group policy for marketing, so it starts from here. So the only thing that is not there is the group lock. So we can create a tunnel group now. So this is just kind of a practice session because we already did all this for the first tunnel. Okay, so yep. Okay, show run tunnel group now. So you can see for marketing, yeah, so it's here, right? Yeah, it actually starts from here. Okay, and so we can come back here and just rerun this command. Yeah, so it should take everything now. And let's create a user marketing. I like to use the smaller letter here. Marketing. Yep. Okay, so in production probably have a radio server somewhere that is doing. Okay. Yeah, so we're good. Anything left to do? I don't remember. So let's save. And then let's go to the user. This lady here, my lady. And then so this is marketing laptop. It's really a virtual machine, nothing there. And yeah, so it's clean. So we grab the edge, and then we put the IP of the public IP of the ASA, right? Which is 192.168.1.30. So let's be sure we can even ping that, because this is a new VM. Let's take time. So can we ping 192.168.1.30? Yep. Okay, so we put in the IP, HTTPX 1.30. Okay, let's see. Yep. So now we should see marketing. This is cool, right? So we say marketing, and then we can authenticate. So we said it's marketing. Okay, and then the passwords. Okay, then we log in. Let's be sure we just configured it. So let me just grab this name. Marketing, and then the password. This is the password. Okay. And then login. Yep. So it's going to detect, because we are just coming in the first time. It's going to see that we don't have any connect. Of course, that's why we are using the browser. And then it's going to detect which operating system we are using, and automatically shows the image. I'm probably going to spin up maybe like on a Ubuntu VM, and then we will load in a Linux package installer as well on the ASA, and then we see how you can as well connect from a Linux system. And also, no, I don't think we can have a VM for Mac. Yeah, so I'm just going to download it. I'm going to hit the pause for a bit to download, and then we'll do the installation. Good, the download is completed, so just click on it and hit the install. Nothing fancy to do, just click next, install. Yes. So it's completed, and just hit finish. So if I come here, it should tell me my Connect is running now. So hit connect. Connect. So we should now have finance or marketing. So I'm going to pick marketing, and then of course we just put in the I don't know why it's difficult for me to type marketing. I hope I spell it correctly though. Marketing, yeah, so it's correct. So let me enter the password. Okay, failed. So I think there's something I'm missing out in this. So let me just copy it. Marketing. And now let's copy the password. So this is for the old configuration. This is the new one. And it's Deep Sky. Yeah, that's the password they're using. Okay, so hit connect. Yep. Okay, so I'm curious to see how the routing, what the routing table will look like, right? So I'm just going to say route print. Yeah, so let's see. Okay. A little bit mixed up. Okay, so this is the IP we got, I think. So where is the default gateway? So default routes are showing up here, right? So but we don't have, so let's come down to, so we have 191.30. So there's 60 here. So for the actual network we need to reach, which is the 172, it doesn't show up here, right? So this tells us that that access list is definitely not correct, right? Yeah, so I just wanted to see if it's gonna work, right? And we see that access list is not really giving us. Yeah, we have our IP, but the split tunneling is not properly configured. Okay, so if I say IP config, as you can see here, we have our IP. We don't even have a gateway, right? We don't even have a gateway. The gateway is not showing up, so something is not right with the configuration. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is to say access list, right? I'm just going to call it a name, right? So we just call it, say, marketing split ACL, right? So we're just going to say permit what now? So 172, right? Because that's the network we are trying to reach, right? So 255.255.255.0. Yeah. Show run access list. Okay, so if we now say show run group policy, right? So for the marketing, what we now need to do is to come here and say for the split tunneling, right? So we don't need to do everything. Okay, we say for the split tunneling, the value should actually be what that access list. Okay, and so we can come here and say, let's put this. Okay, yep. Okay, I think we might need to disconnect and reconnect from the VPN. I think so. So disconnect so that they can renegotiate and apply policy. Let's see. Connect. Okay, so the problem is actually the password. So let me see, what am I missing? The password is, oh, okay, I see the problem now. Okay, so it's going to reconnect. And then we can just say IP config. Okay, we still don't have the gateway, which is really weird. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's also look at route print. Okay, do we now have routing? Yes, so it's there now. Okay, so it's there now. So it's saying to reach this network, right? Forward it to 192.168.60.2. So the gateway is here. I'm just surprised why it's not showing up here, because if you compare it with the previous with the previous setup for finance, it was actually here. So I'm just surprised it's not here. But you look at the routing table, is really there. Okay. And if we go to the ASA and if I now say show IP route, or not show IP route, just say show route to 192.168.60.0. So you see this is the assigned IP, and then it says use the outside interface. Okay. So the split tunneling is working now. So so this is correct actually. Okay. So because I mean, if you're going to the internet, you just go out through your gateway, which is this. Okay. But if you're trying to reach this network, okay, then forward it to the ASA, which is 60.2, right? Let's try something. I want to ask the ASA, show route for 192.168.60.2. It says not in the routing table, okay, but it's actually there in memory or something. Yeah, so the split tunneling is up. But currently, I don't think we will be able to reach the 10.252. Okay, we won't be able to reach it. So if we go back to the topology, this is 172.16.10.252. So let's come here and be sure that everything here is okay. So I'm going to go to infrastructure team, finance, marketing. So this is their server. So the IP is actually correct. Right, I can ping 172.16.10.254. Yeah, so the server can ping its gateway. So this can ping the gateway of the ASA, and it should even be able to reach the. So it should be able to reach the servers as well. So I can say ping to 10.0.0.20. Yeah, so that's over the site-to-site tunnel. Okay, so currently marketing is here, okay, but he needs to ride over that site-to-site tunnel to this server. Okay, so what do we need to do? It's very simple. Okay, so the traffic comes, hits the public interface. Okay, this is actually the public interface here. Let me zoom in so you understand. So, you know, this green represents the internet traffic that goes in, right? Because this is a layer 2 device. So this is actually the public interface. So the traffic comes here, the public interface, and then it should now route through the site-to-site tunnel to this gateway. And then from here, it pops out, it gets decrypted, and then hits the server. Similarly, the server comes, hits the ASA, go through those policies, it's encrypted, hits this VPN gateway, and then over the remote access, it goes back to the user. Okay, so let's make it go back to. So we need to come to this ASA, and then now we will need to do two things. Okay, the first, we'll need NAT exempt for them, right? To say if you're going out, don't NAT it to this interface. Okay, remember we did it for finance. And then secondly, we'll need to add this IP to the interesting group, right? So there's an access list that determines what should be encrypted between both sides. Okay, so we'll need to add this IP to that pool. So we need to add it here. So here it will be local subnet. Why? Why here it will be the remote subnet. So 192.168.60.0 will be the remote subnet. We don't need to include this anymore because this is already here, right? I hope it's clear. So this is the ASA, and then let's fix the NAT issue, right? Because if we run the packet tracer, I think we did that before, but we can also do it again. So packet tracer, and then we say input is going to be from the outside interface, and then we're going to say ICMP, right? So we're going to say if it's coming from 192.168, there's already an object group for that, right? But we can just, okay, .60, we can say .10, right? ICMP00, and the destination is 172.16.10.252. Tell us what happens. Okay, so there's a route lookup that says go to the outside interface. Next up for this is the outside interface. There's really no access list, and the implicit row is not caching it. See, there's no NAT anywhere. So this inspection allows the ICMP, and yeah, so action is going to be dropped definitely. Okay, so there's no NAT, and you can, if you're not NATing and this IP is not routable on the internet, so how does it go out? Okay, so we just need to say first, don't NAT this, right? And then please add it to the tunnel. Okay, so here what we just need to do is so we say show run access lists. So let's fix the NAT first. Okay, so for the NAT, run objects. So we already have a sub object here, so we're going to do something similar to, so we're going to say NAT outside to outside. Yeah, something similar to this is what we're going to do. Now let me expand and explain what. So I'm just going to paste that config here. Okay, so since it's not showing fully, what we need to do is this. We're going to say if it's coming from the outside, we want to NAT it back to the outside interface. Okay, if it's coming from, in this case, it's going to be the pool, which is 60.0/24. So we're saying 60.0/24 to 60.0/24. Don't just NAT it to itself. And then the destination, so this is just going to remain the same, right? So what is really happening is you are saying if it's coming from the outside interface to the outside interface, right? So the ASA is going to use this information to make the forwarding decision. Okay, to make the forwarding decision is before it even looks at the access list and all of that. Okay, so I've already copied it here. So so here okay, so we just grab this. It's coming from this IP to this IP, and then we say destination, right? And then we can just, so we're going to leave the destination as it is, no proxy, route lookup, you can say route lookup. Okay, so yeah, show run NAT, so it's there, so it's showing fully now. So we're saying if it's coming from this subnet, NAT exempt, this is identity NAT, same for here. We are not, so don't do anything. So it will never come to hit any of this, right? So it will use this to make the forwarding decision to say, oh, they're saying I should NAT the IP. Okay, so the next thing is just to add it to the access list for, so let's say show run access list. So the access list here is so this is from London DC to Frankfurt DC, right? So this is the access list that we need to add it to. Okay, remember the two sites are London and Frankfurt. Okay, so that's the access list we need to add it to. So I'm just going to copy this up to this point, right? And then we say if it's 60/24, where's the objects? This, and then to object this. Okay, yeah, show run access list, show run access list. It never autocompletes. That's the right. So this is the access list, so we're just adding it. So we need to do the same thing for the other end, right? Remember, this is the local subnet, right? Yeah, so we're saying if it's coming from 60/24 to this destination, is so this is the local, this is the remote. Okay, so we also need to do the reverse on the other end, which is this ASA. Now another implementation, if you don't, there could be situations, maybe, I don't know, for this setup though, maybe you are not responsible for this ASA and you don't want to make any modification here, right? Or it's not within your domain, or they're not willing to let you use this IP here because it's a different organization, then you can simply NAT this IP to this, right? We can carve out a /24 from here, NAT this IP to this, because this is already being allowed here. So you just add, so if the traffic comes here, the ASA will NAT it to this, and then it goes out, right? So you don't need to do any modification here. But in this case, we are not doing the NATing, so we just need to add it here because we assume this is our network as well. Okay, so let's go to if. I don't think I have console access to that firewall, so I'm just gonna click this, and yeah, so there's a Frankfurt DC, so you just say enable. Show run access lists. Yeah, so is this the name I use? Let's be sure of what we are doing. Yeah, so the name there is actually wrong. Well, it doesn't matter, so we can just say permit objects. So we need to create an object as well. Okay, so objects network, which is 192.168.60.0/24. okay, so it's a subnet. It's going to be 192.168.60.0/25.25.25.0. okay, and yeah, so I can just do a replication, so everything here is going to be the same. Okay, and then we can just bring this in. Okay, yeah, so if I say show run access list, show access list, yeah, so it's there. So if it's coming from this network and the destination is this, then route it through that tunnel. So if everything is working properly, this user should not be able to ping 172.16.10.252. Okay, so it's still not able to. Okay, so we need to check what the problem is. Okay, so let's go to now. I think we've already checked that the IP was okay. Let's stop all this ping. This is the yeah, so this is the server actually. So we're going to say, let's try it from this end. So we say ping to 192.168.60. What was the IP? .2. So we might not even be able to ping it because we need to disable the firewall here. Yeah, so I will just go to control panel. And go to system security and go to, where's the firewall again? Try to remember here. So let's check firewall status. Yeah, it's already turned off. Okay, that's cool. I think I did it in the previous test. Okay, so we can actually come here and try to ping 60. Yeah, so it's still not going, right? Do we also need to make changes to the NAT rule on the remote end? I think so. Okay, so let's see on this firewall. Let's just show run NAT. Yeah, so we need to say that if it's coming from this network and the destination is also 60.0, it shouldn't go through NAT, no address translation. I just remember, my bad, I missed that part, but it's good that we remember. So I'm just going to add this here. And yeah, so we'll say if it's the destination is this, NAT exempt it, and then don't respond to proxy app, and yep, sure run NAT. Okay, so let's hit enter and let's try it again. It's cool. Okay, so that's really this is really more of another practice lab for us. So this user is now able to access this marketing server, right? So let's see, can they talk to these servers? This definitely will not be able to talk to this server because we have not even, it's not even, because you remember the traffic comes through the tunnel, so we have not even allowed it here. So it's not even, there's no point testing for this, but we'll just test, can it reach this network? Okay. It shouldn't be able to. So let's go to the laptop and see, can I ping 10.0.0.10.0.0.10? It should not go. Say destination unreachable. Okay, so there's really no point even trying to test, right? Because the routing table doesn't even say you should go through the tunnel. Okay, because if you do route prints, it only says only forward which traffic through the tunnel if the destination is the subnet. So that's already solved the problem for us, right? So they will never be able to route through the tunnel to this network because the split tunnel is saying no. But what if we say, what if we split on the tunnel say yes, right? So we can say, okay, if you're trying to reach this network, take it through the tunnel, and then we can still see how the VPN filter is going to filter it. Okay, so I think we still have some few time, so let's try something. So I'm going to come to this, use this network, this ASA. I'm going to say show run access list. So I'm going to add to this. Okay, remember this is what determines what is tunnel through the VPN. I'm going to say if it's also going to 10.0.0.0, take it through the tunnel. Okay, so that is added. Show run access list. Yeah, so this slack 16. Okay, so maybe we go to, we can, I think we might need to, if I say route print, I think we will need to disconnect and reconnect for it to inject the new route. So as you can see, it's not yet here, so we just disconnect and reconnect. Reconnect. Click connect, and then let's enter our passwords. Click OK. And then so we say route print. You see the new route should have been injected into the routing table for 10.0 network. That's fantastic. It's there now. IP config. We still doesn't give us the gateway doesn't show up here, but I think it's showing it for IPv6. I don't know why. Okay. Yeah, so it's there, right? So if we does it mean we can talk to this network now? Nope. Okay, now if we want to be sure it's actually the VPN filter that is dropping that traffic, we can say show AS, I think it's ASP table. Okay, and we can say filter, I think, and then we can just put in this access list. So it's a way of checking which access list. So let me put this access list here. No, so I think I need to specify the access list. So I'll say access list, then yeah, global filter, last clearing of this seat never. Okay, I'm not sure. It's not showing anything. So what I wanted to show you is the, let me see something, right? Show run access list. I hope that is the right way to check it. Just a sec. I have to poke around a little bit from Cisco documentation. Yeah, so it's so it's not show. I think it's clear, not show. Let's see. Let's see. Is it clear? No. So it's show actually. So we're right. It's show, but it's just there's really no hit count. So let's try it for another access list. I just want to see if, so let's try it for something like this. Okay, enter. There's still no hit count. Interesting. Okay, so I'll probably maybe in the next video I'll check it out, and I really want to show how we know if the VPN filter is actually the one, you know, dropping the traffic. Of course it's the one. Now there's something we can do. Okay, what we can do is this. Now if I say show run username, right, this user, which is marketing, we can as well put the VPN filter here. Okay, now if you put the VPN filter here, whatever you put here overwrite or supersedes what's in the group policy. Okay, remember show run group policy. Okay, so we have a VPN filter here. Okay, which is, of course, that's what you have here, which is only permitting, this is marketing, right? So it's denying connectivity to this subnet and also to this other subnet. It's only permitting access to this network. Okay, so however, if you specify the VPN filter under the username, whatever you put there overwrites what is on the group policy. Okay, this overrides what is on the group policy. There's also another one called the dynamic access policy, which is like maybe like a downloadable ACL, maybe through Radius, that automatically applies to a tunnel, right? That one supersedes what is on the user. The user supersedes what is on the group policy. Okay, so let me create another access list here. I just want to show you something, right? The access list says I'm going to say access list. Let's say default, permit default. Let's just use something like that. Okay, we say permit, right, 192.168, permit IP 192.168.60.0 to anywhere. Should it be that way? Sorry, it should be 60.0 255.255.0 to anywhere. Okay, so that's the access list we created. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab this user called marketing. Where is the user? Which is here. Okay, so I'm going to say put it here. Then I'm going to service not service type. We're going to say VPN filter. Okay, and then I'm going to apply this default filter, this access list, which we call permit default. Okay, and then hit enter. I think there should be a value here. Okay, so say value. Okay, so should run username. Okay, so we have a VPN filter tied to the marketing user. So I'm just going to, let's disconnect again. So let's try to connect back. Okay. All right, so let's see, can we now ping to, it will still not work though, okay, because we need to ping to 10.0.0.10. It will still not work because we will need to do the NAT exemption again, right? But what I wanted to just show you is that when you specify the attribute under the user, it supersedes what is on the group policy. Remember, the group policy says deny. Okay, let's see if we can quickly add that NAT exempt. Show run NAT. So I'm just going to say if it's coming from inside to outside and it's this and the destination is, so we just need to replicate something like this. Okay, so the problem we have now, our only case is that the configuration doesn't even allow it, right? It's not that there's an access list denying, no, it's the configuration that doesn't allow it. So if we fix the configuration, then we can see if there's an access list that is actually denying. Okay, so here I'm going to say, where am I looking for? Yeah, so I'm saying if the destination is this, okay, so say show run NAT. Yep, so we are saying if it's coming from the inside, from this subnet, and destination is the VPN, okay, so do the NAT exempt. Okay, so with this, let's see what happens now. You see we can reach it. Okay, but the access list is still on the group policy, right? Show run group policy, right? The VPN filter is still there, but because we said on the user level that it should be allowed. Okay, we said at the user level it should be allowed. Okay, let's just show run username again. Right, this VPN filter overrides what is on the group policy. That's the point I was trying to make. Okay, it's almost an hour. We have to end the video here, but there's something else I could have as well show you. It's the question. Another question is, what if I have an access list on this interface, right, that denies this remote access VPN user? Okay, so this G0/0 VLAN 10. Okay, so let me quickly show you something. Show run interface G0/0.10. Okay, we don't have an access list tied to this interface, but the question is, if we have an access list tied to this interface that says deny this subnet to these networks, which one has priority? Which one would override the other? Well, for VPN connectivity, the ASA does not use the access list attached to the interface. Okay, what it uses is the VPN filter. So even if you have an access list here that says deny, it's still going to allow. Okay, I don't have enough time to check this, but in the video, maybe when we test for infrastructure team, when we build our VPN for infrastructure team using the ASDM, then we can test. Okay, we can test. We put an access list here that says deny, and then we see what happens. But the truth is, ASA does not use your access list tied to the interface to filter VPN traffic, right? Because there's a command there that says, I think it's system ops. So let me quickly show you. Because there's a command that says don't filter, don't use that access list. Okay, this is the command. Okay, sys opt connection permit VPN none. So if I come here and say no, right? If I come here and say no, then the access list tied to the physical interface overrides whatever is on the VPN filter. Okay, we'll test this in the next session. So if you like this video and you want to see more, a little bit complex design and implementations like this, you want to subscribe to the channel. What I always strive to look out for is some kind of corner case issues that are, you have to really be able to understand this, but it's simple. You just need to practice it much every time, and then you get used to it. Okay. And yeah, so I see you on the next video where we'll also build remote access VPN for infrastructure team. There's really nothing new here we'll be learning, but the whole idea is how do you do it from ASTM, okay? Because here we use the CLI, here we use the CLI as well, and then we did all the manipulation, but here we want to use ASDM for everything, okay? So if you're in an environment where ASDM is what you use, then this is going to be useful. All right, guys, see you in the next video. Bye.